Welcome friends, so welcome back to my channel, welcome to a cozy little space. As usual, I hope you're having an amazing day. And today, we're gonna listen to some scary stalker stories. So buckle up.
One of my biggest fears unfortunately became a reality. Get ready with me, story time. Over 5 years ago, I actually used to work at a grocery store in my city. At this
Okay.
job, I first started off as a grocery bagger, and then I moved my way up to be a GM, which is a general merchandiser. So I basically restock products, and then I shortly made my
I
way
used to
to
do that.
becoming a clerk, which is another word or term for cashier. I do want to mention when I became a clerk or a cashier, I was working at that job for maybe like a year. I was about to hit like a year. In my opinion, when you work at a grocery store or somewhere where you're helping out customers, kind of start to get a feel of who your regular customers are. It
Yep.
was a weekday and I was working in the afternoon, and this guy came in my line. And again, remember I said I do recognize regulars? Well, I just knew that this guy wasn't a regular. At least I had never seen him. So this older man comes into my line, and in my opinion, he's one of those guys that if I were to see out on the streets, I would probably like turn the other way. Not even like that I'm judging the way he looks. It's just like the way he was like looking at me, like it was an evil look, if that makes sense. Like it was
Oh,
scary. Like me being alone and I see that, I'm running the other way. This man is next in my
you
line.
should.
He had one item. He asked me like the most like random question. He's like, "Hey, do you know where this item is?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's like right behind you." I don't know, it was just like weird. It's like he knew, but he still wanted to ask me. And then the second weird question that he asked me was, "What is my name?" And if you work at a grocery store, you're always
Like,
gonna have a name badge. So it was just
yeah, that's weird
weird that he
anyway. Why
asked me
would
for
you?
my name. I do understand if you wanna get to know me and you
But
are a
why?
regular, you're gonna be.
Why would you ask for someone's name in a shop? A, they do usually wear a badge anyway. But like, I don't ask people's names to the shops that I go to. Like, how random is that?
A regular at the store, you kind of just want to have a conversation. But the way he asked me for my name wasn't just like a normal conversation. It was kind of like, oh, I want to investigate
Creepy.
you, who are you, one of those type of
Oh.
conversations. Kind of just let it be, and I was like, all right, Ash, just move on, just scan his order and get him out of here. He was the type of like customer where he would just like look at you, scan his order, like he would just like stare you down. And personally, when I go to a grocery store, I don't
Why?
even like look at the cashier. If I do, I'll like glance at her, but nothing where I'm like staring at her, like creeping her out. Anyway, so
When I go to a shop, I try to avoid all eye contact at all costs. I'm literally there as quick as I can. I'll bag my stuff and I'm out of there. Like, I do not want to be there any longer than I have to.
that guy leaves, and then later on in the night, I think I was working like a 12 to 9, and I remember this guy came around like 9 o'clock, almost time for like me to clock out. And one of the girls comes up to me and says, "Hey, like there's this guy, he's looking for you." And I was like,
Oh
"Who?
my
Like,
God.
do I know who he is?" And she was like, "I'm not sure, but like he was describing somebody, and the only person that fits the description is you." And I was like, that's a little bit weird. Also, I do want to mention that I was in the break room at this time when she told me that this guy was like looking for me. Me being me, I was like, who's this person? I want to go see who it is. But I'm a very observant person. I'm also a very like paranoid person. So
So am
I
I.
was being sneaky about it. I would kind of just like peek a little bit, or I would go up to like the
Girl.
office and I would kind of try to see from the office out to the store. Sure enough, when I spot this man, I was like, dude, there's no way. This is the guy that I had the weird encounter with earlier in the day. Okay, like that's weird. Why is he asking for me? Like, I'm not getting
Oh my
good
God.
vibes off of him. I felt very uncomfortable, and I felt like
I'll be like, hell to the no. I'm not going on that shop floor. Why would anyone be asking for me? No. I'll be like, Susan, Susan, can just go on the tills for me. I'll be back in like 10.
one of like my biggest fears is always like having a stalker. I feel like that's just any girl's fear, is having a stalker, right? I refused to
Yeah,
go back out on the
100%.
floor, and he ended up leaving. And tell me why the next day he comes back and I'm at the register, and one of the girls comes up to me And she was like, hey, like, I think that guy is back. I recognize his car. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, that guy who asked about you, he was like, I don't think he's walked in. Have you seen him? And I was like, no, I haven't seen him yet. Why? She's like, okay, I'm going to switch spots with you. You go hide. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like,
Girl
there's no way
code.
this is my reality right now. So thankfully she let me out of the register. I ended up going in the very back to like the milk box area, and there's also a medicine room. So I literally hid in the medicine room, and I was like, bro, there's like no way that I have
That
a
is
stalker
so
right now.
me.
Like, what in the actual fuck? Before my coworker actually let me out, she told me to stay nearby the back phone in case he leaves, that way I can come back out. And I was like, okay, cool. So I remember she ended up calling the phone, and I answered, and she was like, hey, like, this guy's looking for you again. And I
Oh
was like,
my
are
God.
you serious? And she was like, yeah, like, he's looking for you, and I don't feel like he's looking for you for a good
Like at this point, if someone's like looking and asking for you specifically, I would let my coworker know and like, listen, like you're coming with me, and I'll just confront him like, yes, yes, sir. Like, what is the issue? Like, have you been asking for me? What do you need? Any products? Do you need milk, bread? Like, what's the deal? And then obviously, hopefully, that will put him like a bit, leave him a bit like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. Like, it just kind of put him in a place like you're in a shop, like you're here to food shop, not to like. At least you'll find out what he wants from you, and like someone will be there with you.
reason. It's like, because it's been an hour and he's still in the store and he still hasn't bought anything. She was like, usually if you're gonna be in the store for this long, you at least have a cart full of groceries. I'm gonna probably have to wait until after closing for this like man to leave, or until I'm able to leave. So to keep my mind busy, I ended up leaving the medicine room and I went to the milk box, which honestly is still in the back, but when it's in this corner and the milk box is on the other side. And so I just started filling up milk because I was like, if I'm gonna be back here, let me at least help the closer out. I'm filling the milk up, and I just see like a hand right there, like grabbing milk or faking that he's gonna grab a milk. And I was like, bro, there's no way this is my stalker. And so I look, and sure enough, it was him. And I was like, oh, hell no. So I literally left the milk box area and I went back to the medicine cabinet,
My God.
or the medicine room. And I just stood there. I was really hiding in between boxes. I think I even have a Snapchat. I might insert it if I do find it, of me literally hiding in the milk box. I was like, bro, I can't believe this is my reality right now. But at this point, it was already closing time, and we closed the grocery store.
Yeah, but can you imagine you like all hiding and stuff, and he's like, oh, by the way, like I know your auntie, or like I know your like granddad or something, or he like knows you somehow, and like you made all this drama, and the man like literally was gonna just like ask you one of the simple like innocent questions. So can you imagine?
11 o'clock. I was supposed to clock out
Can
at
never be too
9
safe
o'clock.
though.
And tell me why I did not leave the grocery store until almost 12 in the morning. I left that
Oh
late
God.
because this man's car was still in the parking lot. He had one of those car vehicles where, like, you know, when somebody passes away, they have like that certain type of vehicle they put like the casket in.
Yeah.
And the person
Long
yeah, he
back.
had one of those. Yeah, when I seen that he had that type of car, I was like, oh hell, I'm not about to walk out. And the last thing I need is for him to know what kind of car I drive. This guy finally leaves, and then I end up leaving as well. As I'm on my way home, I decided that I wanted to go to the gym, and the gym to my job was only like 3 minutes away. It was over the bridge. I walked into the gym and I went to the squat rack, and tell me why I seen my stalker at the gym. Welcome to part 2 of the time I...
Oh my God. Now that I'll be going crazy. I'm speechless. Part 2.
had a stalker. If you have not watched part 1, I highly recommend you to go watch that video first. That way you guys can get a clear understanding of what exactly is going on.
Give
but
it to
let's
us.
get started. At this point, I am at the gym, and I did arrive to the gym. I made sure that that specific car wasn't there. I did see in the comments you guys left that he drives a hearse. Yes, he does drive a hearse. That's the type of car that he drove. I just couldn't think of the name at the moment when I was saying the story time. I would drop a picture right here of what that car looks like. So imagine having a stalker who drives this. Of course you would be creeped out like I was. I didn't see his car at the parking lot of the gym, and neither the shopping center. So I ended up getting down. I thought the coast was clear. Keep in mind, at this point, it was roughly 12:30 in the morning, and I was just going about my night. I just went through this situation. Let me at least go to the gym so I can let all of this out.
Peace.
The gym has always been my safe spot, so that is the place that I ran to. Particular night, I was doing legs. Oh, I make my
Hate
way
leg
to the
bag.
squat
Hate it.
rack, and then after the squat rack, I ended up going to like the back extensions, and the back extensions at this gym was in this corner, whereas the squat rack was on this side. So I kind of made my way to the other side. I was about to do the back extensions. I freaking see my stalker, and him and I made eye contact, and I was like, dude, there's absolutely no way that this man is at the gym. First of all, I've never even seen him at the gym. I usually go at different times, so I just knew that if this guy was a regular at the gym, then I would have recognized him already. And because I knew that he was already stalking me and constantly asking for me, I just knew that he wasn't at the gym to work out.
But low key, I would love to know, like, what he would have asked her. Like, what was your question? Like, you're looking for me, like, every day in the shop. Like, you're asking for me, what are you gonna say? Like,
I need to stop working out and I need to make a plan. I ended up leaving the back extension machine thingy, and then I ended up grabbing some dumbbells. I'm gonna go to the mirror and see what his next move is. I also wasn't doing full sets. I was doing squats. After I was done with that, I noticed that he ended up grabbing the 5-pound weights, and he ended up going to like a section nearby me, but still a little bit distant. Let me do one more set and then I'm going to leave. So I did one more set of those squats, and then I remember I ended up leaving to the Stairmaster. And tell me why he only did literally like one set, and then he ended up putting his 5-pound weights away, and then he was done. Why is it that whenever I'm done with my reps, he's suddenly done too, and he just started? Like, okay, I'm putting 2 and 2 together that he's actually here for me. I also feel like what gave it away was the fact that him and I made eye contact more than 3 times at the gym. And usually I don't make eye contact with anybody at the gym. Everyone just kind of minds their business. So the fact that this man just kept staring at me and was finishing reps whenever I was finishing reps, like, dude, if I were to start a set and I would be done with it, suddenly he would be done with it too, and he had just started. Like, it just made absolutely no sense. So, like I said, I ended up going to the Stairmaster. I'm at least going to be here for maybe like 2 minutes, and it's...
I highly doubt that he would join you at the Stairmaster, because that thing is a killer, okay? I do not step on it, I would die. So I bet you didn't go on the Stairmaster.
What his next move is. So sure enough, this man goes to the little bicycle, and I was like, are you serious? Like, this man just started this other new set, and now he put his stuff down because he didn't want to lose me, and he went to the bicycle, which is literally like nearby the Stairmaster. So the Stairmaster is right here, and then maybe I would say the bicycle like machine is like 10 feet away. So he was still nearby me. Basically told myself, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay on this machine for at least 5 extra minutes and let's see what he does. He ended up leaving. I honestly lost track that I had a stalker. I was just so in tune with my workout because of everything that was going on. I just kind of wanted to zone everything out, which is my fault, but also too, it's just like, damn, I don't want to let this man control my life. So I stopped paying attention to him, and of course, because I didn't pay attention to him anymore, I lost him. I don't see him anymore. Maybe he left. Let me go to the restroom. And so after I was done, I went to the restroom. Before I go to the restroom, I'm gonna have my phone out and I'm gonna be recording. Scared. So I'm gonna walk and have my phone out like this. And if he's actually in the restroom, my recording will dictate and determine if he was actually there for me. I'm going to the restroom, not knowing that he's there, but I'm just assuming at this point that he's at the restroom because he obviously was nowhere to be found in this building. And so I'm walking to the restroom, and I swear to you, he's walking out of the restroom and I'm walking inside of like the little lobby, and I was like, oh my god, like, please continue walking into the girls' restroom / locker room. But this time when I spotted him, I made sure that I was looking down. So especially because I knew that I was recording, so whatever I didn't see, my phone was going to capture. Tell me why I go into the restroom, I replay the video, and this man is walking out and just staring at me. Like, he made eye contact with my phone camera. I'm gonna try to insert the clip if I do have the video, but it was so scary. I was like, okay, at this point, it just confirmed to me that he is here for me, because this man was like just staring at my camera for like 10 plus seconds until I'm walking in and he's walking out. And again, if I'm going to the gym and I make eye contact with someone, I'm gonna just make eye contact with someone and then I'm gonna look away. I'm not gonna just stare at them. At this point, I'm paranoid as hell. And I feel like the craziest part and the most scariest part to me was the fact that I didn't see his car. So where the heck did he park? Come to to find out, he ended up parking like on the side, like on the corner. Like there wasn't even a parking spot over there, but he ended up parking over there. So obviously I wasn't gonna see his car. I ended up staying in the restroom.
But how did he know that you go to that gym? How did he know? So he must have seen you and stalked you way before the day that he came to the shop, to the grocery store, and asked you for your name.
For 20 minutes, and then I finally walked out because I was like, dude, I have to go home. Like there's no way I'm gonna stay the whole night at the gym. And so I grew some balls, I walked out, and then I went straight to the front desk, and thankfully there was a guy at the front desk, and I basically told him, I was like, hey, did some old guy walk out? He looks like this. And he said, yeah, he walked out maybe 20 minutes ago. And I was like, okay, perfect. Do you mind seeing if this specific car is outside, or if you see him, because I think he's my stalker. He was like, if you want, I can walk you to your car. You can just check here for a little bit. So he went to go check outside. His car wasn't there, and then I ended up just staying at the gym for another like 10 minutes, and then he offered, he was like, do you want me to walk you to your car? Yeah, like, I'll make sure you're in your car and you're actually driving off. And I was like, yeah, that'll mean a lot to me. So thankfully he did that. W to him, because he saved my day. And then I just ended up going home. I took the freeway. I did continue going to work because the person that I am, I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna let this man know that I'm scared of him. Since that incident, I honestly stopped seeing him. Never see his car there. So I don't know if they ended up telling him something at my job, or he just kind of noticed that I wasn't there anymore. I feel like also the main reason he kind of assumed that I stopped working there was because they ended up switching me to a morning shift. So I really wasn't there in the afternoon. There was one time where I was working in the morning, I seen his car at the parking lot, and if I see his car there, for the most part, like a lot of my coworkers already knew, my managers already knew. So whenever they would see his car, they would just tell me, Ash, go to the back. So again, if he were to walk in, he would never see me. After, I just ended up quitting because I got a better job opportunity. So I really haven't seen him. I did see a comment, people were asking me if I worked at Stater Brothers. Yes, it was the Stater Brothers. Now that specific Stater Brothers is closed, I honestly never seen this man ever again. One, I'm never really around that side of town anymore, and two, I remember when I quit, I still went to shop at that Stater Brothers, and a lot of my coworkers were telling me that he just never came anymore. So I feel like he kind of just left, and I don't know what he did or where he's at, or if he's still alive. But I'm glad that I don't have him as my stalker. I did see a question when someone said, why didn't you report it to security or to the police? I feel like nowadays you have to just have so much evidence for a police. Like I did tell the police, and he was like, oh, there's just not enough evidence. Police, they want you to do take anything action when something actually happens, versus when you're kind of warning them and giving them a heads up that this situation is going on. So police never did anything about it. Security, they don't really take their job seriously. My managers couldn't really do anything, but they did know about the situation. They were definitely on my side. They were keeping me safe. But again, like, if police couldn't do anything about it, what really can my managers do, other than the fact that they would take me out of the register or tell me to go hide? So they did do their part, which I'm super, super grateful for. That is the end of my story time of the time that I had a stalker, unfortunately.
Girl, I bet that so many women and girls, that is just such a normal occurrence, like shops, if you work in any public spaces. But let me just give just props to her for just staying strong. And I feel like he kind of felt her energy, that she wasn't scared, and she kind of stood her ground, and that's what saved her. And obviously changing of the shift and stuff. What a creep. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please, please like and subscribe. It means so much to me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.